Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're watching this video, this is Doug with News and Views by Doug. This is where I talk about basically my observations and opinions on world events, politics, and pretty much anything else I feel like talking about at the moment. So yesterday, we were talking about the Iranian war and what's going on. And earlier in the week, Iran brought down one of our Apache helicopters over the Strait of Hormuz, and the pilots were rescued, and Trump unloaded all holy hell on them the next day. 49 cruise missiles hit them, Air Force planes were dropping bombs on them, and reportedly the supreme leader of Iran, they claim he's alive, I don't believe he is, they said he called Trump, called him directly. We haven't had any direct, communication between the United States and Iran for 47 years. And suddenly Trump gets a phone call in the middle of an interview with Fox News. And basically he said that they want peace and that they asked him not to bomb anymore. So 3 hours before we were supposed to attack on Thursday night, President Trump canceled the attack. And apparently we were going to bomb the holy hell out of them again, taking out their communications and power grids and anything else. Well, he claimed that, again, the peace deal's this close. They've agreed to everything. And that, hopefully over the weekend, Vice President Vance was going to go to Europe and sign a peace deal or a memorandum of understanding with the Iranians, which the Iranians immediately said, no, that's not true. And that's the way it's been going on for weeks, months, where President Trump says, we're this close. Then the Iranians turn around and do something stupid. And they've been violating this truce ceasefire that we've had for over a month. They constantly are violating it. So here it is. The world suddenly feels, hey, peace is at hand. Oil prices are dropping. And only good things are going to happen. Sorry. Iran immediately launched drones at several ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Cargo ships, tankers, and even U.S. naval ships. So, again, the deal's off. And the thing is, who the hell's running Iran? We don't believe the civilians are in charge any longer. We think it's the IRGC. And they just basically are doing what the hell they want, or there's no communication going on between the staff and the generals that are out there. Whatever generals are left, we pretty much killed them all. So again, the question is President Trump going to launch a big attack tonight over the weekend? We don't know what's going on. And you got all these experts on the internet that are saying, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And they're all just full of shit. So we also talked the last couple of days about Northern Ireland. A citizen of Northern Ireland, the UK, special needs man, was attacked and assaulted and almost killed by an illegal alien from Sudan. And it was caught on video. Luckily, some of the citizens were able to stop the attack, and then the police came in and arrested the guy. Well, Northern Ireland's been on fire ever since. The people are tired of the politicians not doing anything. They're tired of the police not being allowed to do anything. And so they've taken it in their own hands, and they've been burning things. They've been going after the immigrants' neighborhoods. They're burning buses and cars and anything else to get their hands on. And it continued last night. So it's been 3 days of rioting in Northern Ireland. And now there's talk of Northern Ireland leaving the United Kingdom and joining the Republic of Ireland. That they're tired of all this crap. They're tired of all the immigrants from the Middle East and from Africa just doing whatever the hell they want to do. Well, the Northern Irish minister, I'm sorry, can't even say it. The Northern Ireland minister came out and basically said, hey, you can't post any of these videos of what's really going on in Northern Ireland. You can't post them. It's illegal. and that he's telling the social media companies, take them down. They're censoring the truth. But that's not new to the United Kingdom. People have been imprisoned for speaking their opinions. There's no freedom of speech left in the United Kingdom. The government, if you say anything against the government, anything against the immigration that's going on, they're putting you in prison. They're not defending their people. They're imprisoning them. I just don't get it. Also, the United Kingdom, they owe money to NATO. They were told basically you need to raise your the fees that they pay to NATO and your defense costs. And they said they would do it. Well, they didn't. So the minister in charge of defense for the United Kingdom, he resigned the other day and said the United Kingdom's not doing their fair share for NATO. So, what's going to happen? They've got Muslim mayors in all the major cities in England, and they're just taking over. And a lot of these are from Pakistan. And they're taking over the United Kingdom. So that's gone down. This morning in Midland, Texas, we don't have hardly any details, but a person went on a shooting rampage and he shot up to 11 people. One is fatal. The other 10 supposedly they're hospitalized or they've already been released after their injuries were taken care of. But the man is dead, the shooter. And there's no information that has come out if it was the police that shot and killed him or if he self-inflicted himself. And no one has ID'd him as to who he is or wondering what the hell happened. But that's happened in Midland, Texas this morning. And yesterday we talked about Karmelo Anthony, and he's going to prison for murdering that kid Metcalf. Well, now there's video coming on social media where the black activists, and they're calling themselves the BLM, Black Lives Matter, they're going to Metcalf's grave and they're pissing all over his grave and putting it on social media. And when the Metcalf family was leaving the courthouse, you could hear some of these black activists saying they're glad that the kid was killed and that, this was all racism. And I talked about the black fatigue that was going on. Well, it's continuing, and these young black males, they're violent. And not all of them. Not all of them. But there's a good majority of them that are violent. It came out that in Mississippi yesterday, an older white couple were home when a 17-year-old black male broke in to burglarize the house, shot and killed both the male and female. These people were beloved in their community, worked in the church. Everyone knew them and said they were very kind people. Well, the 17-year-old male walked in, shot and killed both of them, and was continuing to burglarize the home when the police showed up. The police were doing a welfare check. Well, this black youth decided to open fire on the police, and I don't know how or where, but there supposedly was an infant out there, and this kid shot at the infant. And they've taken the 17-year-old now into custody. It just doesn't stop. There was a report of 2 girls having a lemonade stand in New York City, and an 11 and 14-year-old young black kids went and robbed them at gunpoint, stealing their lemonade stand money. But even these young kids had a gun. And it just doesn't stop. And, a lot of the black people who are on the conservative side of things, they're calling out their own people. And they're saying that, this black fatigue, it's out of control. They're embarrassed. They're upset over it. And, why is there so much violence coming from this community? How does it stop? So, anyways, now here in California, we had our primary elections. And in the city of LA, Karen Bass was winning the top part of the election, and Spencer Pratt was in the second position. He was the only Republican. Suddenly, at some point at night, a city councilwoman, can't pronounce her name, Neatha Raman, she suddenly jumped up in voting. She got like 4,000 votes, and Spencer Pratt in the same time got 0 votes, which is mathematically impossible. Well, it was announced that she beat him by 3,000 votes. So he's out of the mayor's race, and it's between Karen Bass and this Neatha Raman. So here's something that came out today, and I find it extremely interesting. Tens of thousands of Spencer Pratt voters are now receiving rejection letters from the county clerk saying that their ballots were not counted due to signature irregularities. Yet Governor Gavin Newsom, or like we like to call him Newscum, just passed legislation that would make it illegal for anyone conducting oversight to contest signatures that were deemed fraudulent. Democrats allow ballots to be signed with an X, or pretty much anything else people want to sign. And they get to pass the count. But all of a sudden, only Republican signatures are being flagged for irregularities. And they're being rejected and not counted. One of these California Republican voters said that his signature has been on file for over 20 years, and there has never been an issue until he voted for Spencer Pratt. Neatha Raman has beaten Spencer Pratt by less than 3,000 votes. There are at least 18,000 Pratt voters who received this letter saying their votes were rejected. And here's a copy of that letter. And yet people say there's no voter fraud going on in this country. Nothing in California. And I find it funny. We have fraud on Medi-Cal, fraud on EBT, medical fraud, welfare fraud. We have all these, and they're acknowledged. But we don't have voter fraud? Doesn't exist? Anyways, folks, I hope you have a nice, quiet weekend. I hope you enjoy yourselves. I hope that you will like and hit the subscribe button if you enjoy what I have to say. Even if you don't enjoy, you don't agree with what I have to say, leave a comment. I truly appreciate you folks. And I think YouTube is hiding my algorithm, and the channel on YouTube's not growing quickly, but it is growing very fast on Facebook. So thank you for all those folks that have subscribed. Don't know what to tell you except what I always say all the time. Keep your eyes open. If you see something, say something. Be careful out there. Be aware of your surroundings. And take care of your family and friends. God bless America. God bless you. Please stay safe. Take care.